Hello, everyone. Welcome to Veteran Career Services video on Gathering Your Tools. Today's video, Gathering Your Tools series, is on campus resources, specifically career resources, because we really want you to take advantage of them. Again, my name is Jennifer Pluta. I'm the Assistant Director for Veteran Career Services. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Office of Veteran Military Affairs, we are here to become the nation's premier university for education, research, employment of veterans, military-connected students, and family members. Our mission is to serve Syracuse University's single point of entry for all veteran and military-related programs and initiatives. We are committed to being the best place for veterans. The Office of Veteran and Military Affairs assists university stakeholders to support and empower military-connected students, veteran employees of Syracuse University. And today we have a special guest. It is Saisha Bird. She is the Director of Community Engagement for Hendricks Chapel. The reason I wanted to invite Saisha to bring her perspective about career resources, even though she doesn't work in the career space, I can honestly tell you that we have had so many conversations in our tenure working together about students, specifically student veterans, not taking advantage of career resources available to them, which is why we're doing this series. And we're trying to help educate and promote these resources, for our student veterans. And so Saisha is going to, bring up some of her observations and tips today. So, with that, Saisha, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I've been with the university for 10 years as the director of community engagement at Hendricks Chapel. I was born and raised here in Syracuse. I'm really involved with non-for-profits and I'm on a couple boards here in the city. And there's tons of resources and opportunities for our veteran students, and all students. It's just, taking advantage of them and seeking them out. Sometimes, it's as simple as hitting the Google button or checking out the SU calendar.
And Saisha also does the transitioning to education for our veterans. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I've overseen transition of military veterans to university life, which is a pre-orientation program for veteran students. It's a 2-day program where we, engage in dinner together and have conversations around what resources lie within the university. So we have a whole day full of guest speakers that talk about the resources that are offered both on campus and in the community for our veteran students. And then we end it with a beautiful dinner together.
Uh, which is fun.
Yes.
And so, with the orientation that you do and just your experience in interacting with student veterans, what do they usually ask? Like, what kind of career resources do they inquire about?
They ask questions like, I know it's only my first year here, but how will I find a job after this 4 years, of school or 6 years if they're, 6 or 7 if they're working on a master's. They're always looking for, what's my next step.
Mm.
I find most veteran students that I work with are motivated, but it's hard to navigate. They come from one life that they've known for a while, to school. And sometimes some of them feel stuck and they don't quite know how to navigate moving forward. So I hear a lot of the students come to me like, can you just help me walk through how do I move forward? How do I think about work, my career, and I'm just starting in school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what do you tell them?
First of all, I tell them to start early.
Yeah.
Start your first year in school. If going pre-med or being a doctor, for example, is what you want to do, you want to spend time in a hospital, right? You want to meet other doctors and nurses, and you want to get experience any way you can get experience through whether it's volunteering, an internship, but take advantage of opportunities to engage in the community, both at the university community and in the Syracuse community to broaden your experiences. I mean, that's always going to help you move on. That's going to help your resume, quite frankly. And it's going to help you obtain a job because they see you have that experience already.
Seek as many resources and opportunities as possible, even if you think that they don't align nice and neatly to where you're trying to go. You just don't know what that experience is going to yield, right? You don't know what conversation you're going to have with someone that's going to open up an opportunity that you never even saw possible because you never went to engage that event. You hit it right in the head, Saisha. Start early, start often. That's what I always say. Start early, start often. So now, so love the advice you're giving the students. So okay, so now let's say I know it's great about Saisha is she maintains these relationships with the student veterans, throughout the student veterans time, at the university. And this you can answer this question either from a student veterans lens or even just students in general, which is fine. Which what is they often regret not doing? Here I'm a senior and I'm having this moment of self-reflection. What do they tend to regret not doing?
They regret not participating in activities on campus. They hear about a club, whether it be a sports club, a registered student organization, a career fair. I hear a lot of students like, I have class, I'm not going to go to that career fair. I'm going to skip that lecture that could have really helped broaden my ideas. But mostly I hear students, regret not getting out, taking advantage of resources and opportunities to educate themselves on campus.
Right.
Or in starting earlier, right?
Starting earlier.
I meet so many seniors in their last semester that are just starting to job hunt or just starting to look at programs like Teach for America or or
Right.
other opportunities. And by then, the competition is high because other students have already gotten their stuff in. So don't wait. Start start as soon as you start school and start doing that research of and drawing out your path. I sit a lot of students down with a piece of paper and we draw their paths out. What is your path going to look like?
Well, I love that advice, doing the piece of paper and writing out your path, and gets them thinking about it and having to, I'm gonna say commit to it, but having to write about it, right? Which brings it into reality, takes it from their head to an actual tangible piece of paper, and that's such a great idea. But what ends up happening is that they're here for a short amount of time than their non-veteran peers, right? And so it goes by so quickly, and I've always hear that student veterans just again regretting not getting involved, not going to events, not either, it doesn't even just have to be career services focused events, just not getting involved in general in the opportunities and experiences that Syracuse University provides. And I mean, so you're resonating, what I also observe as well. And so, okay, so now we kind of have hit the regret piece, but what about what is not just student veterans, but students in general? What do you think that in your experience has been the most valuable opportunity or experience that they were able to participate in while at Syracuse University?
So obviously I'm going to brag about the veterans program, right? The pre-orientation program. I can't say most of the students really are excited about attending that, and which leads them to the PAVE program, and they're paired up with a mentor. And that mentor for the first year helps them navigate the campus and invites them to events and shows them around. So I think taking advantage of a pre-orientation program that gets you to campus early before all the other students,
right,
we help them navigate the campus, learn where every building is located, where their classes will take place. So I always have to brag about that program. And I guess for general students, we've already touched on it. It's getting involved in attending programs and opportunities that make you feel uncomfortable. Don't always go for the comfort. Attend something that you would never, MLK dinner, right? We have one of the largest dinners, the largest dinner on any campus to celebrate Martin Luther King. Attend it. Come sit and eat and listen. I think taking advantage of opportunities both on campus and stepping off campus as well and enjoying the city of Syracuse and what the city of Syracuse has to offer. But, take advantage of volunteer opportunities, take advantage of the student veteran organization, utilize career advisors, staff like myself that are always willing to just reach out and help use us as resources.
I think you're bringing up, a great observation about PAVE. I mean, student veterans who participate in PAVE and do the orientation end up having, they're more integrated into the university much earlier on, right? And they tend to
Mhm.
have, they're much more versed in the resources available to them and the opportunities available to them. And they end up having, higher GPAs, higher retention, higher graduation rates. So definitely encourage student veterans, if you're not involved in PAVE, if you're not involved in the SVO, please do so. I think you'll find that it really will enrich your experience here at the university. And just like Saisha said, taking an opportunity to experience something that is a bit outside your comfort zone, you will find, and once you connect with people and learn about their own life experiences, usually it's a small smidgen of a conversation or seeing something that is the most life-changing thing and usually the person who they had this conversation with or the thing that they witnessed, that the other person on the other end had no idea that that experience was that life-changing for them. But it's usually the smallest unpronounced thing that can be the most life-changing. So definitely encouraging, our student veterans to get out there and grow and create relationships, both with their student veteran peers, but also your non-veteran peers, your faculty and your staff. So, Saisha, I really appreciate that. And all great points throughout this interview. I really appreciate them. Any final words for our student veterans?
Just continue, to branch out, like Jen said, make friends. I mean, in friends with those younger students in your classroom and your peer veteran students. Um, just continue to talk to people. Don't, withdraw and go into your kind of own bubble. We want you to experience campus life, um, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
That's great advice, Aisha. I'd like to just, do a final thought. These great ways you can get involved here on the campus. Again, there's recreational sports clubs, activities, there's stuff within your college. Saisha's got a ton of events and opportunities to engage the community. Definitely, connect with Saisha if you already haven't. If you have, make sure you reconnect with her while she's here. And if you have any questions about resources or opportunities, you can connect with myself. You can connect with Saisha. I would recommend connecting with the PAVE team as well as the student veteran organizations. Saisha, I just want to thank you very much for taking your time today to, provide your thoughts on, not only career resources, but resources that are available to our veterans that enhances their experience here while at the university. So thank you very much.